And also, I look forward to listen to all of you, and I'm happy that I could join you in this and make these initial remarks. And I now wish all success to this program, today's program. Back to you, Vijay Kumar, and organizers. So have a good day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
sir.
thanks.
Thank you for the nice words of introduction. So, dear audience, we are fortunate to have three amazing speakers for this event. They are actually experts in three different domains of security printing. One from with experience in currency printing domain, mostly their companies in currency printing, and we have a academician, and he proved it is possible to convert the fundamental science into technology and finally to products which can be commercialized. And we have another person. He is actually working with a association of around 70 industries working in the area of security printing in India. He has a bird's eye view of this sector. So we hope that we will get a three-dimensional view of the topic we selected, and let us listen to the three speakers. And we have Mr. Ashish Chandra as the first speaker. He's the director at Delaru India Private Limited. Delaru is a British company headquartered in England, and they working on designs and they produce us banknotes, designs and printing of banknotes and secure polymer substrate and banknote security features, including security holograms, security threads, and security printed products for central banks and currency issuing authorities. They sell high security paper and printing technology for more than 70 national currencies, 70 countries. Also, they produce a wide range of other secure documents such as bank checks, driving licenses, tax stamps, food vouchers, etc. Mr. Ashish actually take care of the India and the Bangladesh activities of business of Delaru, especially on the currency and the authentication business. And he has 28 years plus experience in industry. He started his professional career in 1994 after completing post-graduation in business management from Mumbai University. And his career in business development actually started with providing solutions to banking sector, and he still continue in this sector. With Delaru, he started in April 2005 as a sales manager, and he is still continuing there. And he has associated with all the central and the commercial banks in the South Asia region, and some of the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Home Affairs in some of the countries, and various industry associations. And he awarded twice as Best Customer Development Achievement Award from Delaru. And today he will be talking to us on a topic entitled Technologies to Secure Designs in Currency and Brand Protection. So with this introduction, I invite Mr. Ashish Chandra to deliver his lecture. Sir, please.
Afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Vijay Kumar, for giving me this opportunity to be the part of this celebration of 75 years of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And Dr. Ajay, I mean, what you said actually is quite interesting, and that actually sets the trend for the today's presentation. Yes, it is important. The documents, the brands, the currency, the security is important. So that's interesting, and we are going to cover that. And actually, what you have said is that in last 10 years, the harmony between the industry and the connection that has happened between the industry, the government, and the various research and development has been pretty good. So yeah, but thank you very much, CSIR. Thank you very much, NIST, for giving this opportunity. And I don't know why I was placed before Dr. Deepak Gupta, because when I saw his profile, I was slightly hesitant, but then I will go as per the chronology. So what I'm doing today is that I will be talking more about the technologies that basically are used to secure design in currency and the brand protection. Now, I am presently country director for Delarue, and Delarue has two divisions, as Dr. Vijay said. So we have one currency division where we basically are trusted partner for the choice of central bank to secure their cash cycles, basically provide them the secure banknotes, which basically are part of financial inclusions for various billions of people. And the second one that we do is the authentication division, where we do two things. One, as Dr. Ajay said, protecting the big brands, and the second one is also protecting the revenue, where we produce the tax stamps and which basically protect the government revenue, and they contribute to a lot of revenue that can go to the exchequers. Uh, Organization-wise, this is what we are globally, and you can see that we do have quite a spread out. And on the left-hand side, you can see the various departments that we have spread out. UK-based organization, we do banknote printing, we do security features, polymer substrate, we have technology, and then we have certain regional offices, and also we have a research and development office which is based in UK. Just to give you an idea of what is it as on date right now with Delarue and what interest will be for the audience over here is, I think on the right hand side upper corner, you will see that we have 1,000 plus registered patents, and we have right now. And then second thing that we have is that we also have 500 plus patents which are pending as of now. And also one of the important number which you will see is that the 26 number is what the new banknote that we have designed by Delarue that were issued in 2020. So that kind of designs. So the topic is how to make designs more secure and how you can get the security features along with the design stamp. Now, basically, why actually do we need security features? As Dr. Ajay said, that over a period of time, when you have things such as important as currency and the brands, you also have the counterfeiters. So what we have seen, our experience, we are an organization which is 200-year-old organization into security printing, which included the banknote printing way back in 1831. So what we have seen is that there has been more change in last 30 years than there has been in previous 300 years. Now, from 1600 to 1980, you can see the counterfeiters were just doing engraving, photography, and the security features that were more of a watermark based, or they were more of colored inks, and maximum we had a security threats. But because of these counterfeiters pressing acceleration and copying very fast, so suddenly the technology has picked up, and so have them as well. So we have optically variable ink, we have polymer banknotes, we have holograms, we have window thread, we have lenticular technology to make new threads. Then we have combinational thread, where you use a combination of color shifts as well as the lenticular technology, and then you have embedded thread. And parallelly, you will see that the way counterfeiters have picked up. So I'll just show you in the next one, where you see that in 1990s, it was more of a color copier dominate thing, how they used to print counterfeits. In 2000s, it's the inkjet printer started dominating. Now from 2010 onwards, it was more of a color laser equipment that started dominating for the counterfeiters. Just quickly on the figure 2, you will see that initially until 1999, 2000, it was, and if you compare that with the present until 2003, they're actually not, they're using more of a simulation of the present, of the original, to create a counterfeit. So that is how they have shifted their focus. Why is it important to have these? What is it that one should consider to have security features embedded into design is how does the cash moves in a cash cycle. Now, on the left hand side is the printers. and on the right hand side are the people who use the cash. Now this over here is the people like general public that we are. These are the channels from where the cash is dispensed. So one has to use all the aspects of the cash cycle, that how do you generate a security feature, and everything is embedded into that. Very quickly, now there are certain levels of security features that are normally considered. So these are like one public feature, which anyone, you and me, can just see a banknote and say yes with a naked eye. That is called level 1. That is what we consider. Then there is a level 2 where you use an ultraviolet light just to see whether this is the third party instrument that you use to see a banknote, to see a particular feature. That is called level 2. And then you have central bank, which is the Reserve Bank of India right now. They have a specific feature for themselves, which they use as level 3. And then level 4 is the forensic feature, which basically are called tag-ends, and that actually are used in laboratory to actually study the feature, how it has originated, does it actually belong to us? So all those things. So that is the level of security features that normally one has to keep in mind before designing and doing that into getting that into the banknote. Just moving forward, before coming to the main security features and the technologies that we use, basically just gives you an idea. When you use a security feature, including the design, what all things are considered in a banknote. I'm just covering the banknote right now, and then I will come to the brand protections as well. So like you can consider the entire family of banknote. You can split the family of the banknote, or you can basically have a cluster for each and every banknote, depending on y-axis, higher the security or the higher the durability, what you're looking at. Now, for example, if you look at this slide, for a lower denomination, you are looking at a very higher durability. And on a higher denomination, you are looking at a higher security. And that is the way you design the banknote. So that is how you consider the features as well as the design. Now, for just going forward, giving you an example of some banknotes which are already here. So you will see on the right hand side, you see the public education. It is more easier, it becomes more common, and then you have the cost control over the security feature as well. So these are some common adopted approaches when you are splitting. Now this one is like you have more security feature, which is level 2 based in a paper one, and this is a polymer banknote. As you are aware now, it's becoming up much clearer and clear. So you have more common feature, which is more pictorial. Then you have a level 2 feature, which basically is like, now you can see this part is a level 2 feature. This part is a level 2 feature. This part is a level 2 feature, which is visible by using an instrument. And last but not the least is when you are selecting a security feature, one has to really consider the security. What is the durability? Like what is the length of security feature that you're looking at? What is the cost that is there? What are the aesthetics, environmental impact, and of course the processability through the cash cycle. Now, let me just give you some. Sorry. This has been this. I was expecting this. Sorry. Let me just give you an idea about how we have recently launched. New series of house notes, and I'll just show you. Yeah, here. So you will just a second. Yeah. Can you see something actually? Yeah. Now, no. Sorry. So now these are. I'm just showing you the new house notes that we have launched right now. Now, can you see? All of you can see a banknote design?
Yes.
something got, okay, thank you. Now you see over here, now this is a banknote which has been designed on a polymer substrate, and you can see how each section has been broken. Now these are certain designs where we are where we are projecting our history over here. We have taken a pen that we used to make in 1905. Here we have taken the first stamp that we did for United Kingdom. So here we have taken the Crystal Palace site of the Great Exhibition of 1857. So we have just combined all these things on a banknote. Now this is a design which basically tells a story about from where it is originating. It has a lot of British thing in it. It has a history of making playing cards, history of making pens, history of making serial number, whatever we did in the first banknote. So it has that history behind it as far as the part of design is concerned. The same thing we did for the polymer as well. Now, how did this design actually got converted into a security feature? Now, this is the part that we have picked up from the banknote. You will see that now this is a security feature called Gemini and Enhanced Gemini, which is ink-based security feature, which is part of the design. On the back, if you put an ultraviolet, it has two different colors. So this is one part where we have used it. And again, this is part of the banknote that that you have seen. So just for this is the banknote that you saw, and then you have on the front you have the Gemini features, which is two different colors. Under ultraviolet light, you can have two different images, whereas under a normal light, you actually see a different color altogether. So the design becomes a part of the security features, and sorry, the security features become the part of the design. So now, just going forward, let me just pick up the holographic style, holographic strip. A holographic strip, they have like you have a how we have used the hologram over here. You'll see just going. I'll just bring that up. Now here you will see how you can see the image being used as the part of a. No, it's made of a. It's made secure by a complex combination of classic and digital holography, and then it is further enhanced when it is framed into the window. This is the window that it has. It is framed over here, and then it becomes part of that. So it's this gives you a very good aesthetic. It gives you a good security feature as well as it maintains the design. Now the same way is with the pen. Again, you will see that it is made secure by complex combination of classic and digital holography. Now, it basically gives you how you combine the different technologies, and you can come out with a L1 feature, which basically is which basically anyone can see, and they can decide, okay, yes, they are talking of a genuine banknote or a fake banknote. Now, this is the other part that we have used in our banknote is the highly reflective silver ink that can be incorporated in the substrate whenever you are doing the making the substrate. Now, when you do this polymer substrate, it becomes part of the banknote. So that is this is all about the polymer part. Let me just take you to the paper part. Now, paper has in the paper banknotes, you have these threads. Now you can see the embedded stripes that we have. Now this is world's first micro optics embedded stripe. You can see the variation. Either you do left or right. You can see the change in. You can have various objects that easily can be identified. You can have various figures, or it can be a flower, or it can, and how it becomes a part of the design, and also it becomes a very strong security features. And I don't have to explain what micro optics is. It's one of the secure, and because this is an embedded stripe, the entire stripe is visible. It's visible on the on the banknote, and you can have different color combinations. As you can see, there are 3 different color combinations, which is blue, magenta, purple. You can have different effects, which is depth or an inversion or a 3D contouring. I mean, you can have all these combinations as far as this stripes are concerned, which is again a micro optic based embedded stripe. very quickly taking you forward. This is something which I'm very fan of and I'm very proud of is the thread that we have and which is a combination of micro optic and color shift technology. So it basically, you can see the difference changes that happens. And again, this is a level 1 feature. Anyone on a banknote, any general public can see it at the first sight. So you have 18 variations available across 3 color shapes, 6 different dynamic shapes, and you can actually have map form and ultraviolet part of this. You can see the red, blue. Here you can see the figures are changing. You can have an alpha as well. You can have numeric as well. So this basically all gives a very strong feature, supports a strong L1 feature. You don't need an extra device to detect all these things, but then it can be incorporated. And again, it depends of what level of security level that you're looking for. So again, you can have different designs, different width added to that. So again now, so once you have these thread features, then you have complementary features along on the same banknote. So like just a second, I'll just show you. Let me just shift to them. This is a complementary feature. So now you can have a thread and you can have a you can also have a patch on it, and so which complements the other one. So which one of it? Again, it's a level 1 feature, and basically it's very easily identified as to how you have to take it forward. Now, let me just show you this. And this is also one of the strong features that we have right now. Is it moving? No, it's not. Sorry. Now, this particular feature is the kinetic star chrome. Now, this is actually a combination of the color shift and the holographic, and the holographic shift. It has to move. Yeah, here you can see it. I'm sure it is moving right now. So here you see the combination of holography, and the color shift. And again, it has the combination whether you can have a portrait or you can have a alphanumeric thing. It clearly, the moment you move it north south, it gives you that visibility. So, and again, it is very clearly embedded into the design. So these are some level 1 features that we have. And last but not the least is the holographic features. Sorry, this is moving slightly faster. Yeah. Again, this is just a second. Yeah, I hope it is moving right now. So you can see that this is you can see the holographic features. Again, aesthetics, features, design, figures, everything included in that. Complementary feature, again, similar to what it is. So that is all. I think I'm just finishing off the banknote part right now. So that is how we embed the features in to become the part of the become the part of the design. Now, let me just give me. Now I'll switch over to the brands. Now, why actually we are looking for the brands? I know I have to finish on time. I will do that. So now the brands, counterfeiters, how do they do it? Like the World Economic Forum recently said that the illicit trade is in the range of 2.2 trillion industry. So it's almost a GDP of some of the nations that we know. So that kind of a big industry it is, the illicit trade. And the second one is that the OECD, I've just taken up the counterfeit. So it's approximately $500 billion worth of pirated goods that are there. So now Deliveroo does a total supply chain. So you really have to look into how do they pass through this supply chain. And so Deliveroo does solutions which basically take care of the governments and the brands that enable the security track. Then actually it gives a combination of the physical and a digital mark secure the supply chain, and then it provides an app-based services where actually the government or the user can actually authenticate whether they are using the right kind of product at and whether the product has paid the revenue has been generated. So we basically address to the range of cases, like we support excise collection, we do brand IP protection, and same way we do the supply chain resilience, the product standards, and also do the circular economy. Now, let me quickly take you to the, I think, design part. These are the two security holograms. They basically we prepare for the brand protection, and it's quite very famous in that. One is the embossed holography based the pure technology, and the second one is a Lipman holography based, which is the icen product that we have. Now, these are the various combination of products that we have, where you have, this can go on a paper, this can go on a thread, it can be done with a QR code, it can be part of a small box or a box seal, or it can be, and again, for sure, it can be customized. And how does design play a role over here? Here you can see. Now, these are some live examples that I'm giving you. On the left-hand side, you can see the brands and how that brand has been made with the help of, again, this is a Lipman holography. On the left-hand side, you see Epson. You can see the, like, if you tilt it, you can see number 7, and then you can have number 2. I mean, as per the requirement, and the same way you can see the dots. And on the left-hand side, again, you can see the secure thing. On the right-hand side here is the Macallan, which is one of the costliest Scotch whiskey that we supply. They have a very, very strong over there. The best part of a icen photopolymer hologram is that they are very effective counterfeit resistance. I mean, it's next to impossible for them to simulate these using printing methods that we have seen, or the embossed holograms. Or also, it's very difficult for them to re-originate using commercially available volume holography using other photopolymer substrate or whatever it is. So it's actually impossible for them to use this, and this gives the brand equity and the brand that they value. So and also you can see the design that has been embedded over here. The second example I will take is the pure, which is basically, again, it's quite a complex thing. So let me just give you this example over here. So you see, yeah. So here you can see the kind of combination of alphanumeric design that it gives you, the different colors. You can also have a QR code. Means it is made out of proprietary algorithm, created advanced, complex, and unique features. And we expertise in layering of elaborate optical techniques. It's a superior capabilities over competitors, and of course the counterfeit dot matrix method that are being used. Yes, I mean, it is a lot of it is patented, but yes, we do that on a bespoke requirement of the of our customers. So, yeah. Just taking it forward, I'm just giving you more examples you can see over here. Now, this is the Microsoft one, which is bold binary security features. I mean, it's so easy for a user to see, and again, it's quite secure. It goes all the way. If you go left and right, it gives you that. Here is the icen thing. You can see 4 with 4 dots. I mean, again, you'll see 1 with a 1 dot over here, and again, it maintains the design. Now, this one is again, it gives you the lock system. If you have any codes, it lock and key. So this basically gives a confidence to the brand owners as well as to the users that they are using the genuine thing, and they are getting what they are being paid for. And the pure part is like when we get into the supply chain for the government, you can see the combination over here. On the right-hand side, you will see you're combining unique technology and expert of producing non-replicable products. So this is, it's a design. It is again moving. It's physically available. You can see physical presentations can be done over here. So yeah, these are the products that we have. Of course, these are the new ones where you can have, these are the new designs where you can have the icen, the lip matte holography, which are color based. So we take care of that. And then again, actually it depends. How do you find an optimum solution? So Delaru provides customable, secure brand protection solutions linked with track and trace capability. And of course, we do a lot of work with the governments, various governments who basically we secure revenue for them, for which basically are collecting the tax from various excisable products such as cigarettes or tobaccos or cold drinks or any kind of liquors. So we do a lot of, and how do we do that very quickly? Like you have a tax stamp which carries a lot of security features, and then you can track it with a specific number that is given to them. So again, it gives unique traceability for each and every stamps. I think that now so we basically, you must have seen that we covered the L1, we cover the design as well. We keep the aesthetics. We take care of the brand image as well as securing the brand. So just to highlight at the end, what is more important right now. Now, when we do all these, when we do all these products, we also take care of certain important commitments that we have to do. So you will be glad to know that we are the first company to produce the world's first carbon neutral paper, keeping all the security as it is, not actually doing compromising with anything. We are 100% renewable energy in our UK and corporate sites till 2019. It has been 18 years since we began ISO 14001 for environmental management. So yeah, and 2050 UK government has committed to net zero emission by 2050, and the first major economy to do it. And I think we will be playing a strong role over there. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. I think I took like 4 minutes extra, but thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the nice and very interesting and enlightening talk. So let me ask one query. So we are actually moving more into the digital world, UPI, cryptocurrency.
Vijay Kumar, may
Yes,
I interrupt you for a moment?
yes, sir.
Yeah, Vijay Kumar, I have another meeting scheduled,
Yeah,
so I may have to leave with your permission, all of you, please. So,
sure, sir. We will continue.
yeah, okay. Deepak, see you later.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, okay.
So, Mr. Ashish, are you there?
Yes, sorry. I thought that another presentation, so I just stopped myself. Sorry. Yeah.
So we are moving more into the digital things like UPI, cryptocurrency. So what is the future of these physical currencies? Can you comment on that?
Interesting, very interesting. So the last when we were there, we were recently at a global currency forum, which was done in Spain in the first week of May. And Dr. Vijay Kumar, along with the security features, all the suppliers, all the central bank actually had that concern whether cash is going to live. So there were a lot of research things that were presented. So two things were said. I mean, this is all research based. So one is that the cash is part of a payment system. So with the increase and the new technologies coming into picture and the economy growing at such a high speed and the GDP expanding, the circumference of the payment system is going to increase, which basically is going to accommodate all kinds of payment system and the digital aspect. But at any point of time, it is actually not going to decrease, or it's not going to decrease the share of the currency. Like if you see our own RBI data, which has been published on an year-on-year basis, 11% has been growing as a part of the GDP. We expected that it has to come down. So till yesterday, the Reserve Bank of India was producing somewhere around 14 to 20 billion pieces on an annual basis. Today, our cash cycle is 110 billion pieces. When I started my career, it was in the range of 20 billion, 25 billion. Now it has gone up to 10. So that is one part. Because of the size of the circumference of the payment system increasing, everyone will have their own share. And the second part, is, Dr. Vijay, whenever there is any kind of extreme things that happen, cash comes back. Suppose there is a war, cash will again come back. Now, recently in Sri Lanka, there was an issue. Immediately, people started hoarding the cash. Now we had a tough time. We have a pandemic. I think everyone is aware. We actually started hoarding cash a lot. There were a lot of withdrawal that happened from the ATM, and people were actually hoarding cash. So whenever these extreme things will come, again the cash will come back. So we ultimately came back happy after one week. Now we will remain in business. And mind you, the strong USP of cash is anonymity. So who gives it, who takes it, it becomes a challenge. So that is why this product will exist. So that these are some things that I think will sustain cash for a long time, Dr. Vijay. I hope I have answered that.
Yeah, sure. So I have one more query. So you are working with one of the best companies, or I can say the best company in the world, printing the secure currency, the most secure currencies, I guess. So how you rate the security of Indian currency? And of course, I
See,
want to know
no,
about the
so
US
that,
currency, also US dollar also.
so yeah, so that is what I had mentioned in one of the slides where I showed a durability and the security part. Now, because we as a country are very uh, cash intensive, if you see, and if you look at the Reserve Bank of India data, there are 25 like 110 billion pieces in circulation, and out of that, if you see the larger four denomination, they form a major part as far as value is concerned. So there are good strong features in it. Now everything is data based. Now, Reserve Bank of India has a clean note policy in place where they are ensuring they are detecting the counterfeits at the right places, and they are able to detect whether it is a counterfeit. So it's just not the security feature; it is the combination of security feature, the design, and also whether it is detected by the cash cycle. And I think RBI is very proud of it, and I'm also like quite happy that they should be proud of what the currency that we are having right now in place.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to know, Professor Deepak or Mr. Chandra has some queries. You are mute.
No, nothing from my side. It's a fantastic presentation from as expected.
Professor Deepak?
Yeah, very nice presentation, Ashish ji. Now, in terms of some things which I will also cover in my this thing, in terms of L1 is what do you in terms of the security at L1 level and then going higher up, higher up, higher up. In your definition, what you call is L1, and then you presented things on L1. Am I audible? I know I
Yes.
see you
Yeah,
straining.
it's very less. Actually, it's very low. It's okay. I can hear you.
So my question is, how important are the higher levels of maybe not call higher level, but other security levels? You didn't comment on that side. Do you do anything on that side also, where forensic
On the
or another aspect?
Oh yeah. Sure, yeah. So, well, sorry, Dr. Gupta, my presentation was more how we embed design into that. Yes, we do a lot of work on magnetics, on machine readable, on tag ends. Yes, and these are all very much specific user based as to what they are looking for. If they are looking for magnetics reading in the present thread, we provide that as well. We do that for a lot of countries. And if they're looking for tag ends, which are substrate based, and for the specific, yes, we do that a lot, Dr. Deepak.
Okay. So thank you, Ashish sir, for a wonderful lecture. Now we will be moving to the second lecture by Professor Deepak Gupta. So he is a professor in Department of Material Science and Engineering and also National Center for Flexible Electronics at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. He obtained his BTech degree in Metallurgical Engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur in 1987. And he did his master's in 1989 in Material Science and Engineering from the University of Florida, USA, and PhD in 1993 from the University of California, Berkeley, USA. Subsequently, he did 1 year postdoctoral work at the Argonne National University, Illinois, USA, and then another 3 years postdoc in semiconductor device manufacturing and design at the semiconductor product sector of Motorola, Arizona, USA. In 1997, he came back to India and joined at IIT Kanpur as an assistant professor in the Department of Material Science and Engineering, and he is working there till date. In between, he took leave to work with the Samtel Color Limited to develop indigenous passive matrix full color OLED displays. Professor Deepak's research interests include large area flexible electronics, especially he researched in thin film transistors, ferroelectric memories, etc. And he has a strong activity on anti-counterfeiting materials and designs on, especially on the flexible substrates. And based on his team's work on anti-counterfeiting, he has founded a company called Transpax Technologies, which is selling products under brand name Checo. So he proved that a pure academician can still working on fundamentals. He can develop technology and finally commercialize, and that is a really inspiration to people like us, people working in CSIR. So thank you, sir, for that. And the title of his presentation is PUF-based strategy to prevent counterfeiting with 3D unclonable tags. Deepak, sir, please.
Thank you, Vijay Kumar, for a really kind introduction. Appreciate it. Yeah, and Chandar, long time haven't met. Pleasure to see you here. Ashish ji, nice to have been introduced today, and enjoyed your talk. Now, I am going to speak about physically unclonable function-based strategy to prevent counterfeiting with 3D unclonable tags. I'm kind of a person, so please, my apologies ahead of time. I'm going to be probably blunt about certain things, and Ashish ji, some of those things will be conflict in what you said, but that's the point. I want a debate to start, and so that's a discussion to start on some of these issues. That would be my purpose. Apologies if if I sound a little bit harsh sometimes, which I can be, I think. Checo. So Checo is born out of National Center for Flexible Electronics. It won the most promising startup, some grants, and PNP Devas you mentioned. So we have tried our technology in PNP Devas also, and has passed most of the tests. Including the currency notes as well, and security printing. Printing is our print partner. Some other print partners, Common Services Center, Holostick is also a partner, Every Denison, etc. Now, I'm not going to talk about Checo. In the end, I will of course talk about technology, so Checo will come in. But before that, I want to set up a basis and about the environment in which we work. So the problem is known to everyone in this country, and there's the statistics on your screen, but I don't think statistics means anything to especially Indian consumer, and because we feel it ourselves all the time. So really this is only for academic slide, nothing else. I don't want to bother you with numbers. Now what I'm going to do is this, and some of these things were stated in Ashish ji's talk also. Now what I want to say is typical talk on anti-counterfeiting would have elements something like this. And I'm about to first say it and then negate it. First, what we did was we classified all our technologies. The overt, covert, forensic, which Ashish mentioned, track and trace, something like RFIDs, blockchain. And then we would go into overt example is a hologram, and covert is a hidden features. Forensic is still one level deeper, a covert where you have to go to, you have to end up in a laboratory to investigate. Track and trace is an entirely different beast, but touted as part of authentication also. I question that. And RFID NFCs can do some job. Limitations of that blockchain. This would be a typical talk the way would evolve. Unfortunately, I have beginning to see as I build up a business also along with doing the research, I'm beginning to realize there's more to life than merely technology. And unless we understand the philosophy, unless we understand the non-technical philosophy of why things are happening, technologies will make solutions to replace a previous technology. That's all that keeps happening. And so that's where the problem starts. So first of all, I'm going to say that overt is the technology we need to focus on. Covert forensic, fine. And that's where the question was, my earlier question also was that L1 level or whatever the classification was, can live with only overt technologies because it's meant for consumers. If it's hidden, then people don't understand that. Now, this is a typical part I will come to, and I'll come from the consumer side. Most of my focus will be in the consumer side, not government, not brands themselves, and trying to investigate. It's about protecting the consumer. That's where I'll focus on. And I like to understand why counterfeiting happens. One of the key things, like currency note, for example, and eventually I'll get into currency notes also, that key thing is counterfeiting simply happens because it can happen. That means who cares how good a technology is? As long as the guy who's receiving a counterfeit product cannot figure out, or if he thinks that it is genuine, then that's it. Counterfeiting will happen. Things will move around. So it doesn't matter how great a technology one builds, but unless, so currency note can have huge number of features, but all a counterfeiter needs is approximate things in order to move things around. As long as the guy who's receiving it is not able to understand it, the counterfeiting will continue to happen. So this is where I'm going to talk about first why counterfeiting happens, and it's a philosophical undertone. Technology must be subservient to the philosophical understanding or conceptual understanding of counterfeiting. And otherwise, we'll be inventing something to replace something was. That's all. Technologies such as holograms, and that's where I'm saying I'm going to be a little bit, controversial. Holograms, QR codes rely on consumers to verify. And we keep spitting out replacement of these, if at all, or whatever things were prior to this. We keep thinking about replacements of all these things, but they are meant for consumers, but we never ask this question as a consumer, how many times have we checked it? The answer when we ask this question, most people say that no, I rarely check, or maybe I just glance through and move on. So then how can such a technology work, which we ourselves are not using it as a consumer? So why are you providing it? Therefore, this question does not get often answered. Nobody thinks about this part. Take example of a copied QR code or even an approximate hologram. I'm not worried about exact holograms. Are pasted on fake products, and then they give a retailer escape route to fight from getting caught. This is the point which we need to be understood. That means not only therefore retailer is happy because he knows he can get out of it, and I'll explain that a little bit in greater detail. Actually, use of holograms and QR codes is counterproductive because when pasted on a fake product, consumer who's otherwise not checking it now thinks that even those are genuine. So that's how this counterfeit keeps going on and on and on. Now let's look at the cycle of a counterfeit. What happens? There's a manufacturer of fake. That guy works in a hidden places. He's an illegitimate business owner who needs a legitimate retailer to sell to consumers. He cannot reach, his product cannot reach to the consumer unless he finds the same retailer who's a legitimate business owner. Occasionally, judicial sanctions, some raids are possible, but impact barely lasts. They operate in hidden places anyways, difficult to catch. Focusing on this is a difficult task. But interesting part is this is where one needs to consider and pitch the technology at the right place. The retailer is needed to put the fake goods in hands of consumers, because that's the relationship is between retailer and the consumer. The question is, why does a legitimate business owner agrees to sell fakes and he assumes risk of the illegitimate business person, the manufacturer of fakes. He takes, or he's operating in hidden places. By selling his products, he assumes his risk. Have we asked this question? Why does he do that? Note a financial crime versus a crime of passion. Crime of passion is in heat of moment and is an irrational crime. Financial crime is exactly opposite of that. Financial crime is committed, of course, because there's financial benefit. That's obvious. That's why it is called financial crime. But the thing of it is that the person perpetuating a financial crime first considers the risk of getting caught. Only when he thinks there's a little risk of getting caught, he commits a financial crime. Now, this guy, retailer, is committing a financial crime and he's happily doing it, selling it to consumer. Why? That question needs to be asked. Why is he doing that? And that's why counterfeiting is happening, frankly. So Checo is focusing on this. We're focusing on breaking this nexus. The consumer, we understand his characteristic. Unlikely that many consumers will check for authenticity. They don't. But the retailer does not know which guy will check and which guy will not check. Even if 2 out of 100 check, how does retailer know who will check or not check? The thing is exactly this. When there's a QR code or a hologram, what retailer does is gets it done on the fake products also if necessary. And once he has it there, he has perfect deniability. Even if brand comes and checks and they are able to figure out that this is a fake, which they do, brand inspectors, he claims that how would he know? He's having a QR code. He's having a hologram. He is not an expert. He has this escape route. He has these escape routes, which is why he does not fear getting caught. If you ask for invoices, he's not going to give it to you. You have to have a judicial intervention to get his invoices. By then, he'll clean up his whole thing. The chances of him getting caught with technologies which are copyable are actually counterproductive because they give an escape route to the retailer to make a deal with the manufacturer of fake. Consumer is not going to be able to identify. So what we are saying is provide the same power to consumer and inspectors alike. The inspectors are able to check with technologies which, such as Ashish presented, very sophisticated technologies, but the consumer may not know about it. So that's where give power alike to inspector and retailer, so that retailer has absolutely no option but to accept that something is he cannot deny complicity. I have taken time on this, so I'll move fast on this now. QR codes, holograms, small prints. That's where I have a question mark. But the question is, QR codes were meant to be just like this alphanumeric. If I write it in Russian or Swahili, it doesn't make it secure. It doesn't make it secure at all. It's just a translation of one language to another language. QR codes and barcodes are another script, another language which computers are good at reading. Computer vision based OCR readers are very inaccurate. That's why you convert them into some alphanumeric text into these forms, which are accurately read by computers. Hence, they're good for automation. Supply chain, track and trace, yes, absolutely good for that. But security, there's exactly zero security. In holograms, consumers do not know what to look for. Now, you can see that, but QR codes simply get copied, keep getting copied, etc. And it doesn't matter. And people keep supplying these QR codes. I'll skip some of these slides. RFIDs, if you want to go to something more sophisticated, if you go to passive RFID, they're totally clonable. Anybody can clone those RFIDs anytime they want. If you go to active matrix RFID, then it should have its own power source and it's expensive. And you can run embedded encryption in silicon itself, and you can make a RFID secure. But passive RFID, which is inexpensive, 3 to 4 or 5 rupees as a piece, they are absolutely clonable. You can program to the same data as any legal one is. So that's the problem, is that it is meant for asset tracking. Active tags, but not passive tags, could provide security. We need to remember this part. Blockchains, it's method of digital security. You have increasing list of records called blocks. Blocks contain cryptographic hash of the previous block, and the timestamp and transaction data. You combine them together and keep making this chain, etc. Right? But on a physical object, this blockchain must be triggered by something on the physical object. If you end up cloning that, then the whole blockchain is meaningless. The point is, there's no escaping from providing an unclonable ID to each and every product unit. Then only a digital security could mean something. Covert features, track and trace, RFIDs cannot work because they don't empower consumers. If consumer is not empowered, counterfeiting will go on forever. And consumer should be empowered to the extent the retailer fears it. Unless that happens, counterfeiting will go on forever. So the technology must service that. And that's why we say that we have to give an unclonable ID, just like Aadhaar uses fingerprint or iris scans. Then only counterfeiting, anti-counterfeiting solution can work. Else they cannot work, is my strong statement which I wanted to make. That brings me to physically unclonable functions. The huge number of physically unclonable functions available, or PUF technologies available. They have been since 1970s, started from RFIDs, the clock, or the variation in the clock. But the criteria for selection is, are they amenable for authentication by consumer? They should not have any special device need. If they do, then consumer is not going to have it. And they should be impervious to consumer behavior. That means consumer can, destroy, abuse it, not follow instructions, etc. It should be flexible enough to be able to still used. And that's the key, that otherwise, out of these whole lot of puffs, only few therefore work. I think in interest of time, I'll skip some things. You did ask some question, Vijay Kumar, about this. So old days was this, old world is this, that you had large number of security features, some overt, some covert, hard to make, control on machines, control on ink, security threats, all this stuff is what used to be, and they are in the part of the currency note, etc. And that's how the world went. It's the physical world. Digital world is a different world. It's on absolutely in openness. Strength is in openness. Remember blockchains. No one knows where the ledgers are. People don't know each other. But the strength is in algorithm, it is in mathematics. And hence it is meant to be open. So much so, in next slide I'll go. For example, you use algorithms for encryption, which are very standardized one. You are asked not to use non-standard or proprietary algorithms. Why? Because proprietary algorithms have not been tested by public. They have not been, people have not tried to hack them. So even if there is a small security flaw, it can destroy everything. But these standards, for example, released by NIST, are which have been time tested and nobody is able to break. The mathematics is so strong. So you are asked to use that. In other words, difference between physical and the digital security is about openness. I will tell you everything. My security is through mathematics. My security is through some other means. Physical world, I will put the security feature. I will hide it. I will insert something inside so that nobody else knows. Those get revealed very quickly. And people who are receiving it don't know about it, and they happily receive even if lookalike because of that reason. So what we are trying to do is a puff. You basically, it's a game of what is called as, in our language, called, how much time I have, Vijay Kumar?
You have around 15 minutes.
Oh, I do have 15 minutes. Oh, okay. Sorry. Then I misunderstood. I was trying to rush. Okay, then good. So now if you look at what puffs work. So I'm trying to explain all these puffs. What you do is you create challenge response pairs. You take a puff, you give a challenge question to it. A challenge question I, and you repeat it for n. N is some number large enough it should be. And it's a loop kind of thing. You give one challenge. Question is, how do you select that challenge question? That's the key. Otherwise, anybody can do puffs. And then you see what response puff gives. Response comes out of an algorithm which you've chosen. So what algorithm do you choose? And you'll get a response. You store that. You could do database, and you could do offline also. We have a solution for offline as well. Very interesting solution. You can use cryptography also along with it. But point is, this single challenge question and single response generates a challenge response pair. And you do it for all of them. Then in the field, when you're inside the field and you have to verify, you again start with giving a single challenge question, and puff gives a response. And you see that challenge basically puff storage and compare the CR pairs. If CR pairs are good, most of them match, then it object is to be verified as genuine. If not, then it is called fake. The question is, what is N? How do you make it good? So how large this N should be? Point is, a puff is as strong if N is large. Otherwise, puff may not be copied. The physically unclonable. So you may not copy the physical object, but it may be possible to get the same CR pairs, because at time of verification, you're using only CR. And hence, your puff, while being very good physical, may be very good digital security, maybe, may fail at time of verification. A strong puff not only means it can't be copied, but also the challenge function probes the finer features of the puff. And when I give you my own example of Checo, it'll become a little bit more clear. I'm setting the concept part. Puff alone is not sufficient. It is also quality of the CR pairs. That's the point I'm trying to make, is to select a puff-based technology requires certain thought process. A puff is considered cloned, means physically it may not be completely cloned, but puff is considered cloned only when CR pairs get validated. Point is, the physical object which you have made, which is supposedly unclonable, means nothing if the outcome of it, the challenge and response pair, starts behaving as if they're cloned. And it is possible. It is possible for that to happen. Depends on what scale you're looking at. For example, if I look at a human being from moon, probably all human beings look alike. But as I come closer and closer to them, they start looking different. So it's a matter of same puff, how you're looking at it, from what distance you're looking at it, can make a difference. So that's the point. One has to optimize on all these aspects. So now I'll try to describe what we did in Checo to serve this interest, to break the nexus between the retailer and the fake manufacturer by providing a technology in hands of consumer who is unlikely to check, but such a strong technology that retailer will fear that technology, and we hope out of 100 only 2 people will check, and retailer does not know who will check and who will not check, but his option of deniability must go away. That is the point. So that he fears, and when he fears, will he make a deal with the manufacturer of fake? That's our thought process, and we believe this is the place to attack if we want to solve the problem of counterfeiting. Otherwise, we will keep substituting one technology with other, this hidden feature, by saying I have made a better tagant, I have made a smarter tagant, without informing to the buyer that 6 months ago another tagant was the new tagant and it got copied. And then another one got copied, then another one got copied, and historically it has getting copied. That's the point I'm trying to make in very strongest term, that repeating the mistakes of past and by pretending that we are making something new, by putting it on the same platform on which we have been working, will not work. In order to make it work, conceptual design has to go elsewhere. And the technologies must satisfy that conceptual design, not replacement of technology with a newer technology. So that's the point I want to make, and hence the paradigm shift using a puff I wish to talk about. So power in hands of consumer, and I've given you the reason why it should be in power of hands of consumer. Offline will be better, but sometimes it's not possible. Copy proof is necessary. Then questions we asked ourselves: is the solution based on physical feature tag that cannot be made again? As I said, it is very important. Consider, for example, and the litmus test of that is, ask the manufacturer of the technology who's providing that, can he make the same thing again? Can he make at least a replica of what he did in the just before? If the answer is yes, it's not a copy-proof technology. It is not as much as people can claim whatever. They have put hidden features in there, and they have put something in there which people don't know today, and that's why it is working. But the fact of matter is, the moment that gets disclosed, somebody else will be able to make it. If you want to make a nuclear bomb, you can do it. Read in Google, Google, and figure out how to make a nuclear bomb. You are not able to make nuclear bomb because governments control the machinery, material, etc. But for consumer products, government is not going to control all that. So know that if person A can make something, it is only a matter of time that person B will be able to make it, because there are a lot of intelligent people in the world. They will be able to copy, always. So if a manufacturer can copy something, then a physical feature will get copied. Hologram is exactly that you order 1 million pieces, they're actually a replica of a master, or a master to secondary, and secondary then after that a replica of that. So that's just a chain, and people can hide as much as they want, but they can hide only for so long. Ultimately it will come out, and they'll have to keep changing. So that's, if a manufacturer can make the same tag again, then it will be a matter of time. So what did we do? We were inspired by farmland. If you look at a farmland, when it dries under summer sun, it cracks. That crack pattern is like a finger pattern. When you and I are born, our mothers don't control our fingerprint. Our siblings have a different fingerprint. Everybody has a different fingerprint because nature gave it, or it's God given if you wish to say. Then the point is, such features are unclonable features. So if you look at the cracks in a farm field, then that's unclonable. Well, it could be clonable if it's large scale. Somebody can take a spade and dig out in another farmland exact same pattern at the scale which is visible from far away. But now if you make it small, and that's what we have done, we have invented an ink that when you paint it solid black in this rectangle, it cracks instantly, which chemists know very well how to do that. Not a big deal. So that's that ink has been made and it cracks and it requires a pattern. If they acquire the pattern, this pattern is like a fingerprint and will never repeat again. Not only that, in the white portions where you see where earlier the black ink was, now when it climbs back onto these portions where the black is, it becomes 3D. So if you try to make a copy of it using a scan and print, you indeed reproduce the same pattern. The pattern will indeed get reproduced, but it will not be 3D. But if you try to do 3D, then the pattern will not be able, it's not possible to make this integrate pattern with a 3D printer. So that's how it becomes unclonable. So it's a natural random pattern that will not generate ever again. And at the heart of verification is mathematical algorithms, computer vision and mathematical algorithms. That's where the physical and digital intertwining happens. Now, moving on, I wanted to show you a demo quickly. I'll play a video for you. And is my video visible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll move this along very fast and describe this. So there are two sheets. One is here, and on the left is another sheet. That one is the fake. We have taken a good scan of this and from printer, we have printed this one on the left after that. So it's a replica of this one. And now what we will do is go closer and I'll show you a few tags. I'll put a pause. The 5 tags are on the screen. Notice every tag is a different tag. This pattern is a different pattern and it's a 3D pattern. So every time because we have not made it, it's not possible to make the same pattern again by us who know everything about this technology. Even we cannot make it. So now,
Sorry,
forward,
doctor, sorry. I think something went wrong.
Oh,
Can you restart the video?
oh, it's not on your screen? Okay.
Sorry.
It is in my screen. It is actually in my screen.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing and I'll share my screen again one more time. Is that visible now?
Yes. I can see the presentation.
Oh, now the video screen is it changed?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'll play this video again. So if you look at close enough, then each one is different. Now what we're going to do is we will scan one of these tags through our app. And remember, I have said this one again, I'll make a statement. People will not download apps. People will not check. I understand that. But I'm expecting 1 or 2 people out of 100 will download app and check. We are relying only on the power, giving power in hands of those guys. So the retailer gets caught by the consumer itself and without deniability, without any kind of deniability. So that's the idea. This we did for Indian Oil, and Indian Oil is now our customer. We're happy to report Delhi Excise is our customer. So here it is. It tells that it is a genuine tag. It tells based on comparing the patterns and also the fact that it is 3D. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move to the sheet. There's additional information which you can link that you can do with the QR codes. So on top of it, we do all those things also. That's what I was showing. Now this is a replica of that. This is obviously not 3D. The pattern has been copied, but then it cannot be 3D. And if you try to make it 3D, then it won't be pattern. So now we're going to do is how strong our algorithms is to explain that this thickness is only less, actually it is less than thickness of a strand of human hair. It's tactile, you can touch it and feel it. So that means it is about 50 to 100 microns. Whereas when you print it, then it is 2 to 5 microns. So that's the difference. And our algorithms are so strong that we can distinguish between 4 or 5 microns and 40, 50 microns. And that's what I'm about to show. We scan the same tag, and this time it will catch something is wrong. It'll figure out that it's not 3D. It'll check the pattern, it'll find the pattern has matched, and notice it has caught it. It has caught that it is a replica, and nothing is hidden. Absolutely nothing is hidden. What you see in front of you, that's what it is. App is freely available. Anyone can download it. We will not know even who downloaded it. And computations are happening on the mobile phone itself. And it is all computations based. That's the power of our technology which we have developed here. And I will incidentally, it can be done on plastic, any kind of substrates, it can be done. We even have an offline solution. Here is an offline solution. I'll show it to you. I'll move the video a little faster. Here, we got an airplane mode. We will scan in airplane mode and figure out that it is genuine or fake. Here it is. It's a genuine one. Then what we have done is that we have caused a mismatch between the QR code and the picture here. Why is it hanging on so long? Now we cut a QR code from this region and paste it on this tag. From there, we pasted it here. Now we caused a mismatch. And we are in offline mode. We are in airplane mode. Through algorithms, we will be able to figure out, if we're totally offline, through algorithms, we are able to figure out that it is fake. So that's the power of this technology, puff technology, which is so, any consumer can use it. Moving forward, I'll quickly end. Technology should be such that consumer can reliably verify, and it must be based on puff, such as in Checo. There could be others also. Don't worry about app downloads. Retailer does not know who will download and check. Focus on deterrence. Retailer must fear. His deniability should be taken away. QR codes and holograms cannot do it. Hidden inks cannot do it. Taggants cannot do it. They are hidden in. He says he will claim that I do not know. How do I check? How do I know that it is so or not, etc. Brand, be aware. I keep saying this to now want every brand. In name of unclonability, lot of people are selling old technologies as hidden inks, and they merely say they hide it in artwork, and they give an app, and they say, look, check it out. But those are all hidden technologies, and they get disclosed in time. And it is a rehash of 6 months ago, rehash of 6 months ago, rehash 6 months ago. That's, in fact, I say unfair to the brands which are buying, who do not know about counterfeiting technology, anti-counterfeiting technologies, and they get fooled in this. So unclonable means even the technology provider cannot copy himself. Make sure, I say, to demand that you to the brands that they start demanding it. Of course, we don't expect consumers to download apps, but we would like them to download apps. So just like others also, on top of anti-counterfeiting, we provide cash reward loyalty programs, digital warranty registration, augmented reality, product information, and make personalized apps, etc. So all those things are also done. These Checo tags come in form of roles. I would like to show you one video ended with that we have a total automatic dispensing as well. It can go on all sides of substrates, packaging tapes and all sorts of things, even RFIDs, different kinds of solutions we have. And I would like to end it with one video, which I want to show, if you allow me. I want to show you this video. Why is it not opening? Yeah, oh, it's opened. So this is our thing getting done at Indian Oil plant, automatic pasting. This is the roll, our roll, Checo roll. And here is an Indian Oil plant. It is getting pasted automatically. And so it's a fully functional end-to-end design with apps freely available. We don't ask any questions, no password required, no registration required. Everything is securities and mathematics. The physical tag and the mathematics. All the chemists will be able to make the same kind of ink that we have made, I'm pretty sure, and they will be able to make such patterns, but they will not be able to make my pattern. And even I will not be able to make my own pattern. again. And that's where the security comes in openness, not hidden things. And similarly, app must be algorithmic. It can't be matching this against that database. Match it and say, I'm happy. So that's with that, I will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Deepak. At the beginning of the lecture, Professor Deepak wanted to have a debate. Ashish sir or Jina ji,
Yeah.
you want to say something?
Um, there are so many things actually. Dr. Saab had opened shown us the another side of the coin. But I always believe what I learned from the industry that the problem is not with the technology. The problem is how you are using, where you are using, are you using it rightly or wrongly? So there are various points which need to be considered before adopting any authentication and traceability solution. And and there are so many technologies available. Everyone has pros and cons. So the power is with the human and the brand owners. And yes, I agree that there is a much requirement of the awareness. We can't say that consumer is not doing so. We cannot use a technology which is providing the physical verification. So what will happen? Imagine a case if you are at the airport and suddenly all the electronic signals and everything went off. So then you have to rely on some physical security. So that's why I've always said that problem is not with the technology. Yeah, we need to continuously upgrade it. How you use it, that's very important. I can give you various examples. Many of the companies are using hologram without understanding that whether hologram is required on that product or not, and what kind of hologram it is. Let's say, sir is saying the eco label they are using on an Indian bottle, Indian oil cap, and on a carton, on a simple carton, अगर किसी ने सिर्फ चेको का लेबल ऊपर लगाया है, नीचे नहीं लगाया है, and I simply replace the inside product, then what will happen? So there are certain aspects. There are various aspects one has to understand. One has to understand the risk, the counterfeiting, what kind of counterfeiting he is facing as a brand, and then he has to take a step on them.
Thank you, Jina ji. Professor Deepak, you have any comments? Suppose, as he said, if we remove the item from the inside the box and keeping the same box, so that would be a difficult thing if we go only with this kind of a technology, right?
This question to me or Janaji?
Yeah. So he just mentioned a case, a possibility in that Indian oil, that carton.
Understood. Is question addressed to me or who is this question addressed to?
To you, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. So that's 100% correct. So that's why in case of India, it took us 2 years to develop that solution for them. So that's why it is pasted on cap, which is the most difficult place to cap. It's a serrated cap. There are all sorts of lines on it. And this is solution you try to tear off that label paper, it'll tear completely. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be pasted on the cap. And that's why it took us 2 years to develop the solution for them. Exactly that reason what you're saying. They were saying otherwise, if you paste it on the bottle, then somebody will open the cap and only replace a new cap on it. And that's exactly what Janaji was saying. So I absolutely, yes, those have to be kept in mind. That's why you saw my example of packaging tape. That packaging tape also cannot be replaced. It has to become that way. On a carton, it should become water tape so that it cannot be removed. So yeah, all those things, we have to be absolutely correct on that side.
Yeah, Ashish sir, please.
Sorry,
You are mute. Yeah.
Dr. Deepak, thank you very much. I mean, I would say very nice way to present the technology and the confidence that you have shown over it. It's something applaudable. Means I would like to congratulate you on that. One thing I wanted to understand is, with my experience, is the scalability of the technology and the solution that you are using. So one thing you said that it is not clonable even by the manufacturer. So you basically are not looking at any kind of scalability in this security feature. Or it does not need anything?
Oh, it's totally scalable. Only thing is it cannot be printed on the site. It has to be pre-printed. That's the only thing. Otherwise, we have outsourced to normal printers. So as I said, security printing, even Holostick, citrus packaging, these are partners. We don't print anything. We have given the technology license to them and they print it. So it's printed on a normal printers. So it's a fully scalable solution. That's not an issue at all. Only thing is, unlike QR codes, which people like to print on the fly in their factory itself, in this case, it's a link. QR code is printed or whatever is printed ahead of time, and they have to link to it through software.
Oh, okay.
But it's fully scalable.
Yeah, thank you.
Fully
So
totally.
Deepak sir, I have a small query. So you mentioned any substrate can be used, but what material you are using for making these 3D structures?
So, answering as a as an academic person to another academic person, answer is I can make it on any substrate you want. But when answering Ashish ji, when he says scalable, then only those materials which will go into roll-to-roll printing machines will be used. So I can do it on plastics or I can do it in paper because they are printed roll-to-roll. But if you ask me to print on steel, I will print on steel. You ask me to print on ceramic, I will print on ceramic. I have done that. On all those things, we have done it. But for scalability, we do it on paper and plastic.
Okay, so I have a small concern also. This is a physically verifiable thing. So suppose some deformation happens to your 3D structure.
I'm losing your voice. Is it only me or?
No, yeah. Vijay, your voice.
Okay, so my small concern is that it's a physical thing. Suppose some deformation happens to the structures, what will happen? Will it be possible to authenticate?
So now remember what I said. There are puffs and puffs and puffs. Puffs have been around from 1970s. Notice you and I are all puffs. In the sense, if your wife sees my face and your face, she will know who's Vijay Kumar, right? Because we are puff. Our face is a puff. Face recognition systems, every puff is everywhere in your life. Question is which one you want. So that's your question right now. So in order to provide in hands of consumer, where it has to go through the wear and tear, where consumer, what you said, if this part of it may get damaged, little bit may get damaged, some will change, deform, etc. Yet it should be robust. Now, not that's where we have spent 3-4 years to find those ones where it will not matter to the accuracy of the answer.
Okay.
So I have choose thousands of features. So some because of what you say will get destroyed. But there'll be enough. Then I look at the probabilities that as long as I have so many of them, what is the probability of something giving a wrong answer? And those we minimize. And that's why it has taken so long to develop a robust solution. Pick out, I have patents on about 7 or 8 type of puffs. But I have picked one specific kind which gave me the most robustness against these kind of things which you said.
Excellent. Fantastic, sir. So thank you so much for the lecture. Very, very interesting. And we can proud of ourselves for this indigenous technology. And we hope that we will soon this technology on more products. Thank you, sir. So now we will move to the third and final lecture by Mr. Chandras Jina. I will read his profile. So Mr. Chandras Jina is the Associate Director of Authentication Solution Providers Association, or simply ASPA. It's a self-regulated non-profit organization formed in 1998. The main mission of ASPA is to drive the development, promotion, and adoption of authentication and traceability solutions as effective tools to curb counterfeiting and illicit trade to save lives. At ASPA, Mr. Chandra is responsible for overall operation and building up of authentication ecosystem in our country. And also he's the editor of the Authentication Times and an advisory member at Tax Stamps and Traceability News, the UK. He's a frequent speaker, and I met him in Delhi during a conference, and I witnessed his ability to speak this topic in a very nice manner. So he speak on anti-counterfeiting, brand protection, document protection, revenue protection solution, tax stamps, and he represented ASPA at various national and international forums, including the holography conference at Shanghai, at Budapest, and a tax time forum in Berlin, high security printing conference in Malaysia, etc. He is also a part of the team which started brand protection awareness initiatives and tools in India, including the authentication forum, brand awareness seminars, and counterfeit repository. He holds a bachelor's degree in industrial relations from Delhi University and a master's degree in mass communication and public relations. Today, he will be talking to us on a topic: security printing and brand protection technologies, trends, opportunities, and the future ahead. Jinay, please.
Thank you, Vijayji, for a nice introduction. Thanks a lot. And it's my privilege to be a part of this eminent group at today at iConnect and celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And the best part of being the last speaker is that you learn so many things from your earlier speaker. And my sincere thanks to the previous speakers for clarifying a few slides which I had missed. Basically the overt technology, covert technology, and forensic technology, and providing a deep knowledge about the technologies from various perspectives. So my presentation will be covering more onto the trend side, the opportunities way ahead, why fighting counterfeiting is very important from the national perspective, from the industry side, why it is important to build up the authentication and traceability ecosystem in India, and how building up this system can contribute to economy, to the well-being of the society, generating the employment. And to be start with the agenda of, this is the brief agenda I'm going to cover. A brief introduction about ASPA, the organization which I work for, the counterfeiting situation in India, the security printing, identity, tax stamps, and brand protections trends. Mainly, I will cover the material sides, what are the key technology which are currently in usage, the substrates, the key features, the regional demographics, where are the region where the authentication system is more evolving, the recent developments, the opportunities for the authentication and traceability solution provider, as well as for the country, and the way ahead, the various challenges, one brand protection, brand owner, as well as the anti-counterfeiting solution provider are looking for. So to be start with, I hope my slide is viewable and my voice is audible enough.
Yes, visible and you are audible.
Yeah, thank you. So briefly introduction about ASPA. It is a non-profit organization established in 1998, and it's almost next year we are going to celebrate our 25th anniversary. The vision of the association is to be the voice of the global authentication and traceability solution industry. And in fact, we are very proud to announce that we are the one of the one body in the world which represent this industry as an authentication and traceability solution provider. And ice on the cake is that we are the only, it is an Indian body, which is now the global organization are following us for the ethics, for the standards, for the activities which we are doing it. The mission of the association is to drive the development, the promotion and adoption of authentication and traceability solution. And as we believe that these are the effective tools to curb counterfeiting and illicit trade, which is termed as the crime of the 21st century. So counterfeiting has been now the crime of the 21st century. And in fact, it is on the top 10 crime, above than the human trafficking and drug trafficking. So you can understand how serious the problem of counterfeiting it is, not only from the consumer side as well as from various stakeholder points of view. Currently, we have 64 members companies which are protecting brands, tax stamps, IDs, and banknotes. And in fact, almost all the industry sector, wherever this problem is, one of our member is providing the solution. And we are also honored that CSIR in our last meetings accepted Dr. Vijay and two more of your colleagues accepted to be the honorary member of the association. And we will look forward for the further collaboration and continuous support from you. And from the activities, like I earlier said that both of my previous speakers said the problems about the awareness. And so, yes, I totally agree that awareness is going to be a big role in fighting counterfeiting. And that is the point where the association is doing its activity. So we are trying to do the research on what kind of counterfeiting is happening in the country, what kind of nature, where are the reason where the counterfeiting incidents are happening mainly, and then upgrading the knowledge, sharing the knowledge with our members companies with the continuous innovation in partnership with the research institution, in partnership with the industry sector bodies, as well as with the research which is happening across the globe. And advocacy, we are trying our best to educate the end consumer, not only in fact, every brand owner is himself is also a consumer. Even every government organization, the people who are the policy maker, they are also a consumer. So we are we are trying to educate the consumer, from end consumer, the retailer, the policymaker, the activist, the entire stakeholders, so that to understand that yes, counterfeiting is a big problem. And for that, we have been continuously doing various webinars, the authentication forum as a conference. We are publishing various publications, newsletter, etc., etc. So coming to the first point, which is the counterfeiting, we know that it's a $1 trillion problem globally. Although it's very difficult to calculate the exact magnitude of the problem because it is an unorganized sector. But as an industry association, we had a counterfeit repository by which we are knowing the number of incidents which have been reported in media in last few years in terms of the counterfeiting. So you can see the last 5-year figure. So in 2021, more than 673 incidents have been reported in media and published in media. There could be many more, but the alarming situation is that on average, almost 50 plus counterfeiting incidents are happening in India, and almost 1.5 incident every day. And you can imagine the seriousness of the problem if the counterfeiting in the COVID, we came to know about the fake remdesivir, about the oxygen cylinder supply chain issue in the oxygen supply chain cylinder, as well as the issue of illicit liquor. So that's a big problem. We noticed that these are the 5 sectors which need specific attention in terms of counterfeiting, like tobacco. You can see in the 2020, in the COVID period, there is a big jump in terms of few product in the tobacco side, in the alcohol, as well as in the pharmaceutical. So coming to the next is the security, the overview about the security printing, the identity, tax stamps, and brand protection. To be started with the banknotes, the annual volumes around 171 billion banknotes are issued globally in 2018. So, sorry. So it is clear that cash is not going to be decline. The annual growth rate, it is increasing with the annual growth rate of 5 to 6%. In terms of commercial producer, there are 6 banknote producer in the world. Government producer, there are 56 government producer who are producing the banknote. 186 authorities are issuing or using the banknotes in terms of denomination. In terms of India, approximate current security feature requirement. So we requiring the security thread 25 lakh kilometer. There's a requirement for 30,000 kg color shifting ink, the foil patch 8 billions in number, and the security fiber tagant and ink. And so it says it clearly indicate that the currency they are integrating, they are using the mix of technologies which can provide overt security, the covert security, and forensic security feature. In terms of identity, annually more than 165 million passports are issued. We thought that the ID cards are going to be down, but it is not the case. The annual growth rate is 5 to 6%. But in the terms of production side, so identity are produced equally, almost in equal proportionate between the commercial producer as well as the government producer. Almost 100 countries have compulsory ID schemes, so which remain it's an important business area for the security printing. The global market, which was valued 3.9 billion in 2018. In terms of tax stamps, so tax stamps are the tax stamps annual global volume is 118 billion tax stamps are used across the globe every year in tobacco plus alcohol. The annual growth rate is between 10 to 12%, and 90 countries are using tax stamps all over the world today. And tax stamps are now becoming very important product for the revenue enhancement of government as well as the state excise department in India. Uh, Even the post-COVID scenario, it is becoming very important, and all the revenue authorities are taking this product as a very serious one, and they are working on tax stamp program by which they can enhance their revenue. Uh, Even the small country like Kenya, Uganda, Mozambique, they are implementing tax stamp program for the enhancement of revenue. In terms of Indian perspective, every year around 24 to 30 billion tax stamps uh, are produced or used by almost 23 state excise department in India. The only difference between Indians and global is that in India, most of these tax stamps are used on alcohol, while in the globally it is used on tobacco plus alcohol. So we hope that in tobacco also Indian government will implement the tax stamp solution. In terms of brand protection and security, so brand protection and security, the global market for brand protection is forecasted at a 7% growth rate and rising to $3.6 billion in 2022. And the brand protection, we can differentiate that product authentication constitute 26% of the entire industry. Track and trace are increasingly on the increasing side, with now constitute 37% of the brand protection sector. Tamper evidence is very important, 34%, 3% anti-theft. So this is a brief market overview about the tax stamps, the currency, the identity, and the brand protection. The next point is the substrate and key security feature. So in terms of currency, the two prominent security feature are paper and polymer. And the new trend is that more and more countries are shifting to the polymer substrate. In 2019, 42 countries have issued polymer substrate, and more economies are switching to it from paper banknotes to polymer because of the recyclability, because of the longer shelf life, for the durability, and for the clean note. In terms of security feature, overt and covert, hologram, tagans, UV inks, watermarks are the important security features which are used in banknotes in India as well as globally. In terms of holographic patches and strips, so there is an important important findings that almost 13% banknotes carried issued globally carried holographic strips in it or patches. So it clearly defined that holographic feature are important technology or feature for the banknotes, and they will accelerate as the adoption rate of polymer banknote is increasing, because there is a good research is going on to the holographic window based security feature, which are very highly secure, and in terms of security threat, 90% of banknotes carried security threats. From the point of identity, the substrate and key security feature, polycarbonate substrate is the important one. In terms of security feature, holograms, laminates, we notice Gilachi pattern, tagans, UV inks are on these. There are numbering features like laser Z, perforation, digital security feature. We are noticing barcode, QR code, and 2D code. And the one important thing is that today now, in the transition period now, over 70% of the national IDs in circulation are chip based. However, they are continuing with the physical plus digital security. In terms of key security feature for the tax stamps, the substrate there in India, there are 4 types of substrate: polyester one, the paper one, the BOPP plain label, as well as the hybrid. The important security features, overt and covert, are security hologram, the tag ends, intaglio printing features, as well as the ink. In the tax stamps, for the numbering, the excise authorities are using sequential numbering, the inkjet numbering, as well as the laser jet. Yes, and they are upgrading their tax stamps with the digital feature like QR code, 2D code, and the data matrix code. And the one important finding, as I said that earlier, that 75% of the total tax stamps used in India are polyester based. In terms of the brand protection, the substrate, there you can find the polyester based security label, hologram, the paper based security label incorporating holographic strip or the security ink strip. You will find we are finding the special films. Sorry, the label stock. The important security features are hologram is still in one of the important feature, tag ends, UV inks. This in the numbering side, sequential inkjet, laser jet, and the important learning from the brand protection side that they are actively now adopting various digital security feature, including the mobile-based, SMS-based feature, the barcoding, track and trace from the QR code, data matrix, NFC, as well as the RFID. So this was all about from the substrate and the key security feature. From the regional demographics, you can see the high demographics area where these solutions are the countries which are adopting this solution in a very active mode. You can see the entire India, China, the Russia region, the America, the mid-level, and Australia is one of the important. So this security printing market regional demographics includes the adoption of the banknotes security, the tax stamps, as well as the brand protection. Coming to the recent developments in the identity business, you can see in the Indian scenario, recently we have been noticed that the Aadhaar card, the UID has issued the Aadhaar card and adopted hologram as well as Gilachi pattern and ghost image as a physical security feature. And for the digital, they have come with a secure QR code. Even on our new national identity card, which are coming now, includes a security hologram, various printing based feature plus digital feature. So almost all important documents in India now carry a PAN card, the RuPay payment card, driving license contains either at least one key physical security feature as well as the digital security feature. So the mandate, the trend is clear that they are understanding the value of integrating the physical plus digital security. In terms the recent development in tax stamps, almost in last few months, 10 plus states have upgraded their tax stamp with physical plus digital security. So the new generation tax stamp will carry physical feature as well as the digital feature. You can see in the image. In terms of the brand protection, uh, thankful to the government of India that they are coming with the new regulations for the traceability on healthcare products. India is already mandated the serialization for export product, and probably from next year, the government has announced the implementation of QR code based traceability for as a pilot project on 300 brands in the Indian domestic sector for medicines. For the medical devices also, the regulation is in the pipeline for unique device identifier. In terms of the brand FMCG goods, you can this is a classical example. You can see where the FMCG companies are using a security label containing of physical security plus the digital security. In the physical side also, the trend is going on more on optical based feature which can be easily identified. And the example what I was giving, that the milk food is a classical example. So on the upper side as well as on the lower side, they are using double layer security. So which make it double extra proof, extra layer proof for the making very difficult for the counterfeiter to forge it. This is the another example used by Danone. They launched a dual QR code, one QR code on the tagger foil once you opened it, and the another QR code on the initial packaging, and both these QR code are synchronized. So if a consumer first, for the retailer, the retailer is scanning the main product, and once the consumer open the product, he scan the inside tagger fold, and both these information are has to be matched. So this is a double layer security on terms of QR code traceability, which Danone has implemented successfully in China. These are the another developments which are from the automotives. Now we have seen high security registration plate which carries chromium based hologram. The government has mandated micro dot as a authentication for the identification, so that they can solve the problem of car and vehicle theft. And we have also seeing the increasing use of RFID usage in toll tax. So this is all about the few of the recent trend, the upcoming sectors where we see as an opportunity for the Indian authentication industry. In the chemical and fertilizer, there is a big issue from the pesticide, the fake pesticide issue, the fake seed side, fertilizer. In terms of the tobacco, Indian government has already ratified the FCT protocol in 2018, and probably we will see in next upcoming year the tax stamp as a solution on the tobacco, and that will be a big booster for the authentication industry as well as for the revenue enhancement of Government of India. In the banknotes, the RBI is already announced that they are looking for new generation security features which will be upgraded at regular intervals. The new draft e-commerce policy is under consideration, including the usage of tamper evident measures and traceability. In terms of the packaged mineral water, Indian Railway has already started using hologram label on the top for the protection of for the consumer protection as well as for the revenue enhancement. So there are various opportunities which are for the sector. So in the way ahead, we as an industry, we also need to understand the new industry perspective, the challenges. For example, how we should integration of technologies. We are talking about the blockchain. We are talking about the usage of artificial intelligence, and there is a clear shift towards being just physical authentication solution towards the solution which can provide end-to-end end-to-end complete solution with the authentication and traceability. And the new business models which are coming in the brand protection side, brands are entering into retail outlet. So as an anti-counterfeiting solution provider, we need to consider this point. Plus, I already said that the solution has to be integrated with the packaging line. That is the important, the cost side, specifically in terms of the brand protection. And there are issues related to the environmental, the recyclability and the sustainability. With this, I would like to conclude that yes, the anti-counterfeiting industry and authentication and traceability industry can play a very important role in the Indian economy. For example, the Russia, which is expecting that by adopting the traceability in the country in at least 10 products, they are expecting they will increase their GDP by 1 to 2%. So that's a big, very big number. But there is a need to change the perception towards security. We need to create more awareness with the authorities, with the stakeholders. And for that, we need active participation from the research institution like CSR, from the industry bodies, as well as from the anti-counterfeiting solution provider. While adopting any solution, we should be there is a need for the adoption of ethical vendor. The vendor should be ethics. He should be good in ethics. He should be adopting various standards, as well as he will be able to provide the combination of technology. With this, I would like to conclude that yes, we are looking forward for the collaboration of academic and industry, and I believe that was the intention of the program. And as a speaker, as well as I would be able to achieve that aim. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you, Jinaji, for a very educational talk. And of course, we should try for more interaction between academia and industry. And I hope that ASPA can do a big role in that. And we will continue working together. So I request Ashish sir or Deepak sir, if you have any queries, you can ask now.
Ashish ji.
I have a query. I'm not sure if this is a query. Maybe I'm also part of the governing body of ASPA. But then, Chandra, I think by the time you were finishing the presentation, I had a question, but then you actually partially answered that in your last slide with point number 2 and 3, where you said academics and research and development. But then you concluded that. But as an association secretariat, what is it that you're looking or what is it that you're pushing for into academics and into R&D to just support of what actually you have said? What is your expectation, or as an association, or from the industry?
From the association, sir, our expectation from the research body is that at least we as an initial step, we had now started interacting with each other. The first intention was that. So at least we are knowing that there is a knowledge which are with the research body, there is a knowledge which are with the association, and we are now getting a platform where we are exchanging the information, and the research body can help us, the association, in terms of solving various industry challenges, in terms of the material security, in terms of the new packaging perspectives, in terms of the challenges which we are facing as an industry. for the classical example I can give that many of the brand owners do not use security hologram or the another product because of the speed of the packaging line, and we don't have very good high speed label applicator. So these are example, and these are the example. There are many example which we need to sit together with these research bodies, with the IITs, and how and I am sure that we can find a solution which will be helpful for the country, for the industry, as well as for the stakeholders.
And one thing which I missed actually was that I did see in Dr. Deepak's Gupta's presentation and in your presentation also about the quantum of counterfeits or illicit trade, whatever it is happening. But is there any kind of an understanding that you have as to how the industry owner or the brand owners are sensitive to the cost of having an authentication solution? Like I am working for a banknote company, it's not negotiable. So, but then when you talk to these brand suppliers, how are they concerned about the cost that goes into that?
Sir, cost is always play an important factor. Specifically, we know that the bank, in the terms of the banknote security, the user is the government, and the currency, the stake is very high. In terms of the passports and identity document, yes, the stake is very high, and I think we need to create more awareness with the brands that yes, the brand is also very important. They should consider their brand as equal to the currency, as equal to the identity of their as a brand. So that is the number one challenge as an association we are facing. I think we need to create more awareness. The second is that many of the time uh, uh, many of the player goes to the brand owners with the solution which are not appropriate and end up selling because due to the low cost. So we need to educate the brand that why they should use what kind of solution they are using, but before that they should understand the value of the solution, the risk assessment, whether this solution fits into their category or not. So there are various aspects. So we are trying to we are working on the programs which we will be announcing very soon, and we have already done few, and we will scale up to the next level with the help of the other stakeholders.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gina ji, regarding your first answer, actually you mentioned that there is knowledge in academia and there is requirement at the brand owners or the solution providers. But there is a huge gap between these two. So how we can bridge this gap? What is your suggestion?
Yeah, so my suggestion is that Vijay ji, we should interact frequently. The first suggestion is that because post COVID, when we met almost 2 years back, so there's always a gap. So if you can make a think tank which meet frequently, at least like people from the IITs or people from the research institution, plus from the industry side, if they can meet frequently with the specific agenda that look, we need to solve this problem. We can identify any one problem in a year, but for that we need to interact more. We will be requiring more platform like these, and that's my take from it. And we are happy to do that. We will be very happy to participate in all this.
Thank you, thank you. So Professor Gupta, yeah, please.
I have actually three questions, if you don't mind, or you can cut me off whenever you like. One and it's not a question, but maybe ASPA and other people, other also, since National Center for Flexible Electronics is an open facility, I think one thing Delarue and such companies and ASPA should do is we should have a common meeting at National Center for Flexible Electronics.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
solution you have seen today, but there are at least electronic solutions, 2 or 3 more available, and Dr. Vijay Kumar's group has many solutions. Perhaps we should on one platform present all those also, and our center is very academia industry oriented. So industry people work in our center also. So perhaps we can create a platform. That's just a suggestion. Second part is, uh, I would like, and I would like to hear your reaction as per. Try to actually, there's so much confusion in terminology, and we in our statements use so much of them together as if they're same thing, and one leads mixes up with other. Traceability and authentications are two different things,
Absolutely.
absolutely different things. Yet when we say it in the same statement, so and that causes confusion to me, at least when I try to understand this since 2013. So traceability, for example, is about diversion and that kind of thing, and traceability does not mean authentication at all. So which leads to me to the second question which I have to you is that, my view. I do not understand how QR code could be authentication. For traceability, yes. Traceability, absolutely. But we are, as an industry, we are making a mistake in terms of selling it as a authentication solution. And brands don't understand this. They mix up because we keep using this language. There's a role for association to clear it in brands, because we have created confusion in minds of brands that they're mixing up the whole thing together. QR code is just a script.
हमारी directory देना एक minute.
It's a script, one language to Gurumukhi to Devanagari to something else, Roman, whatever. QR code can never be used for authenticity. These kind of things, and even a second question to you, and therefore I wanted to hear your view on that part. Second part thing is a third question, and you can take all of them together. With holograms, my worry is this, that holograms are meant for end consumer. And end consumer, you and I all should need to reflect that we don't know each brand. Either there should be one kind of hologram which everybody makes. Then it's a different matter. But if it is different kind of holograms, then consumer does not know. In fact, and I said that, and I want your reaction on this, that somebody can paste a lookalike hologram on a fake product, and fake product gets accepted as a real product because of the presence of hologram. It is a counterproductive. These are my comments, which I would like to hear your view, and therefore, shouldn't association be discussing this in a strong word as to what we should be selling to brands who don't understand this?
So, Ashish ji, should I answer? Can you answer the first? I think that's an welcome idea. We all will be happy to coming for the visit to the IIT.
Chandra, my understanding is that after listening to Dr. Gupta, and I was seeing his lot of slides, I think the one thing that he clearly wanted to say, and he has been saying that in all talking, is there has to be a paradigm shift. I think, and we as a user, as a technology to commercial converter, people like us, people like you as an association who has a lot of things, and people like CSIR who basically has an understanding of how to use it uh, on a national level with the regulator. I think there has to be a paradigm shift. We can challenge what is right. He said QR code. I don't think so. There is any. We have to challenge what he's saying. He's saying right.
Yes, yes.
And as far as hologram is concerned, yes, consistency is an issue. If I am buying 10 products, each hologram has a different, it's a 10 products. Means ISO has a different thing, the ISI has a different. I think what Dr. Gupta is saying, and he has said that in his presentation, there has to be a paradigm shift. And all three of us have to take it together. That is what best I can say.
So, Dr. Saab, for the second point which you say that there is a clear gap for the terminology perspective. So with that intention, actually, we published this authentication and supply directory last year. And this constitutes of, we actually define the various technologies which are coming, which are in the practice across the globe. But that was the first edition, and we circulated this with the various brands, with the government authorities, and I agree, yes, we should do it. And we will be publishing the second edition in this year, and then again we are going to send it to all these important players until and unless they are not. We have been able to educate that the clear difference between the QR code, the hologram, the barcode. Yeah, we totally agree with all your suggestions.
So I have some specific small queries. So you mentioned about the counterfeiting incidents in India, the reported incidents. So I have noted in 2018 it is around 461 and it jumped to 673. Though our anti-counterfeiting technology is improving, the number of counterfeiting incidents also improving. So is it actually a why it is happening? Is it due to the technology improvement, or is it due to more awareness of the counterfeiting to the common public?
I think the question is with me, na, Dr. Vijay?
Yes, yes.
I think, Dr. Vijay, actually the problem is that only the level of penetration of adopting anti-counterfeiting technology in India is very less. So comparing to the European and US market, only 2% of the brands are using authentication solution. And they, the tendency is that they started using authentication solution when the product becomes counterfeited. So rather than being reactive, we want to create an environment where the brands are, as a proactive, started using authentication solution. So if that stays, I think it will take a lot of time, but then it would be interesting to knowing that once we have that level, how the counterfeiting level has reduced or increased. But at this moment, I think since many of the brands are not using, that's why the issue of counterfeiting is increasing.
So there is a big opportunity for people like us.
Yeah. Yes.
So I just want to know, I don't know whether I missed it or not. What is the market size of security printing industry in India?
It's a difficult to. We have never done any specific calculation for that, but yes, we are working on it. So this year we thought of it, but we thought that first let's understand the counterfeiting size. So we are very soon going to announce a market report, which will be on the measuring the impact of counterfeiting, and probably in the next 1 or 2 year we will be coming up with the authentication industry size.
Okay, thank you. So one more small query. So you mentioned opportunity in banknotes in India.
Yeah.
So RBI and SPMCI looking for new generation banknotes. So are they moving to polymers or still continue with paper? What do you think?
As per their annual document, they said that they are looking for the new generation anti-counterfeiting security feature. So that is the limited knowledge I have, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So any more queries or suggestions from the speakers?
One suggestion, Dr. Vijay. I mean,
Yes.
to your question of what is the size of the security features or printing markets in India, we will never reach that, frankly. My understanding is that we will have to look on from a different manner, that this market can save how much money and how much lives. Actually, how much lives is this like this market can save, like what the puff solution that Dr. Gupta said, how much lives it can save, and how much illicit trade and illicit trade and the money to exchequer it can save will be the right way to take forward. And it is unlimited. Like we are talking of GDP equivalent to one country, that kind of an illicit trade that is happening, 2.2 billion, 3 billion. It's almost a GDP of any country. So I think we will have to look from that angle. This is what I think. We'll never reach a market figure. And it's a challenge for Chandra to arrive to that.
He did give some indication. Excise alone he was saying 30 billion in India per year. So that gives you indication of what the size is. If you add pharma, milk into that, then it becomes, multiply by a factor of 10 immediately because of medicines and milk and that kind of products. So you can get some sense of what the numbers are. It's massive and unlimited, as Ashishji said.
Any more comments, suggestions? If no, so we will move to the last part of the program, that is vote of thanks. So I'm grateful to the speakers, all the three speakers, for the highly informative, inspiring, and educational lectures. I'm sure that our students would have enjoyed it. More than enjoying, they got a lot of information, and that would definitely help them. So thank you so much for that. And we have seen from Mr. Ashish Chatra's talk that there are a huge number of security features in banknote, and it looks amazing to me. I haven't seen such features in banknotes generally, because I have seen mostly Indian, US, and Euro, and some East Asian countries only. But it looks very nice, and I feel that within no time they will be able to incorporate some small movies into the banknote. That kind of development is happening at Belarus side. So thank you so much for sharing that high-end technology, showing that high-end technology. So we got a feel of in what direction the market is going, in what direction the companies are thinking. So it is really real advancement in the area of anti-counterfeiting solutions. Then we moved to Professor Gupta's lecture, and he is actually strongly advocating giving power to the consumers, not to the brand owners, but instead you give power to the consumers, and you remove the deniability as an option. That should be removed from the retailers option. So that is a great idea, because without getting power to the consumers, it is difficult to prevent counterfeiting. Okay. So we are actually running behind the counterfeiters. We are always a step behind the counterfeiters. So we may be able to avoid that situation if we can, if we have some technology where we can completely remove the option of deniability from the retailers and give all power to the consumer. So great idea, sir. Thank you for sharing, and also thank you for sharing your technology, the technology you developed, and we hope that it will be coming with many other products also. We are looking forward to see that. And finally, Jinaji gave a very interesting talk, and it's more like an overview of the anti-counterfeiting market, and really educational. So he has gone through the market overview of currency, passport, tax stamps, brand protection, etc., etc. And we are actually looking forward to ASPA to give a platform for the interaction between the Indian industries working on anti-counterfeiting solutions and Indian academia, ICERs, IITs, CSIR, and other labs. So we really feel there is a big gap between the industry requirements and the knowledge developed by the academia. So ASPA can really do a big job on that, and we are looking forward to work more on that aspect. And we hope that we can do some wonderful science, and which will be helpful to the industry and for the betterment of the society. So thank you all once again for joining with us for this great event, and thank you for sharing the knowledge with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay. Thank you, everyone. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Ashish, I have sent something in your chat box.
I have seen. Yes, thank you very much. I will get connected.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.